What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lamonts G CKs show. I'm your host, Harvey Lamont Ritchie, the number 3 podcast. Um, I need some lip balm on my lips. Everything's chapped up. I got a little over a week ago. I spoke with a friend of mine. He's with the Tulsa Police Department. He had taken some days off, and his wife and he drove to Arkansas to her parents' place to spend a few days. And the ice and the snow apocalypse happened, and they got stuck. And um, they were pretty much prepared. They got the generators and plenty of food, and but the movement on and off the property was difficult. They had a side by side that they were able to go help some people and die emergency. But as far as going shopping and all that good stuff, everything was pretty much closed. It's not surprising. Let me put some lip balm on my lips. About to fall off. So he's and his family are doing better, but speaking to a few people that I know in Nashville and um, the surrounding areas of Nashville, they're not doing so hot. I saw a piece on the news where there's still thousands and thousands of people without power in that area. And you had some country music star. I'm not familiar with him or his work, but they had him on the news, and he was saying that it's all political. Nashville is a liberal city. It's not surprising. If you go to Atlanta, Macon, Birmingham, Montgomery, Jackson, all these large cities in the South are liberal, but you have a lot of good people. For generations that done lived in these cities, and as it got more liberal, they move out to the suburbs, and sometimes out in the rural areas to get away from all that foolishness. And I don't blame them. And you know, Nashville, with this ice storm, pretty much like LA and the wildfires. When you have incompetent leadership, situations like this happen. Now you notice the areas around Nashville, the areas around and Tennessee and Arkansas and Oklahoma, the more conservative cities and municipalities and counties, the leadership that's not liberal, had all their I's dotted and T's crossed, and emergency management was able to help people. Uh, get the trees removed that fell down, power lines back up. And I want to say a big shout out to I think it's I want to say it's the Southern Company, Alabama Power, Georgia Power, Mississippi Power, etc. Uh, I'm not sure about Tennessee. I know in Tennessee, I think it's Tennessee Valley Authority or something like that. Their power supply up there, but not knowing if it covers all of Tennessee. But I know in Alabama, uh, Alabama Power is pretty much the major power source now. Um, Combined with Georgia and all these other states, they call the Southern Company. But they went out and they helped people in these surrounding states, surrounding areas. If you look at the map, dude, where I live at in Alabama, Northeast, we dodged a bullet because you hear about the chaos that happened in Mississippi, Oxford, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, even Georgia. Now, it's almost like it wrapped around. It hit a little bit of Florence, the top northwest part of Alabama, a little bit of Huntsville, and went all the way around into northwest Georgia. And I'm like, we were in the direct path, and it's like it went wild over. Dude, this is the second time in probably 3 years that we have dodged. No, the third time in the last 3 years we have dodged a major bullet. When that system came through and did the devastation in Cherokee, North Carolina, was they're still suffering from. Uh, well, when a hurricane system, we was in a direct path, and it actually jumped over us or skipped over us or went around us, or however you want to put it. We dodged the bullet. And this little ice storm here, which I don't think the people in this area really understand what the people of Arkansas and Tennessee are going through. I went through one major storm when I was younger. I think I was in my 20s, early or late teens, early 20s. I think it was 92, 93, and they called it the snowstorm of the century. What it was a out of season type hurricane system came off the Gulf. You had a cold front coming out of Canada, and it met, and we got blasted with 2, 3, 4 feet of snow. But the ice was the big deal because we didn't have power for weeks. And down here in Alabama, at that time, you didn't have the road equipment to clear the streets and roads and highways to drive. So everything was shut down. The only thing that wasn't shut down, thank God, we had a military base down the street. They were able to get the National Guard out and to help a lot of people who were stranded, and they was able to be mobile and do a few things in the community. But since then, we haven't had that, and um, came pretty close this time. And my heart goes out to the people of Nashville and Arkansas and Oklahoma and all these other areas that were hit pretty hard. And listen, I don't know what to say about these liberal, incompetent leaders in these major cities, man. I mean, it, it it never stops. The corruption, the incompetence, the malfeasance. It never, ever, ever stops, man. And listen, I don't know a solution because if everything is done democratically, people qualify to run for an office, they get elected, you know, and you go back to, I want to say, the late '90s, early 2000s, when the mayor of Washington D.C., and I can't remember his name, he's dead now. This guy was shown smoking crack and doing all kind of evil and sadistic things, and they voted him back in. You know, and I know a lot of people say, "Well, look at Trump. He got all these felony charges." Listen, all that was bogus. All that was fake, and we know it. They know it. Um, and that's why he got voted back in, because these evil people tried to ruin his life and tried to ruin his country. That's the most important thing. Tried to ruin his country. I don't even know if this mic is working. Well, whether or not I'll do it over if it's not. But yeah, uh, it's amazing. Uh, and like I said earlier, it never stops. That's a little bit of what's going on. Some people in some areas that I know around the country. Um, if I'm not mistaken, Old Man Winter's not finished with the South yet. We got some more cold weather headed this way, and going into February. Um, we'll see. A lot of people, especially in the South, they hate wintertime. They hate it, and I understand. I used to love wintertime. It used to be my favorite time of the year. Um, I would actually be more mobile, doing more things, being in the gym more, outside more in the wintertime. Because I hated the heat. You know, and, as a kid, we was outside barefooted and it's damn 105 degrees for 7, 8 days straight. You know, I just got tired of it, man. I started enjoying winter more because I could stay warm. I can't cool off my radiator. It don't work. It never has worked though. When I play football, you know, you can tell in the wintertime how your body works. You go out there and you play a series. You come back on and you don't sweat it. You take that helmet off, and the vapors, the steam coming up from your head. You understand how your body works when it's cold and when it's hot. And I could always warm up, get warm. I couldn't always cool off. So that's neither here nor there. What else is going on? I've heard for last 3 4 days that people are outraged that Bill Belichick didn't make the first ballot Hall of Fame selection. And I'm gonna be honest with you, not being an NFL guy, not really too much caring about what goes on in the NFL. I won't be watching the Super Bowl. I won't damn sure won't be watching the halftime show. But I do know this. You recognize excellence. You give props to excellence. And Bill Belichick, whether you love him or hate him, is top three, top five all-time greatest NFL coaches. Period. If you go by Super Bowls and championships, he's the number one coach in all history. You got some people who are livid that he wasn't the first ballot. He wasn't on the first ballot. Uh, so I said that to say this: he's gonna make it in the NFL. He's gonna be in the NFL. He's gonna make it into the Hall of Fame. We all know this. He's gonna make it into the Hall of Fame. But just like with everything else, there's mess, there's politics, there's egos, um, and it is what it is. And I hate to go off on a personal tangent, but even to this day, I got guys saying, "Man, uh, you need to be in the state sports Hall of Fame. You need to be in an all county Hall of Fame. Uh, why didn't you make all county? Why did you do this? Why didn't you use the greatest football player I've ever seen?" I'm like, stop, because be honest with you, for the longest, I said those things. You know, I think I made all county either second team or honorable mention. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Ain't nobody in this county got numbers like me. Nobody. But dude, listen, I wasn't the best of nothing. I was probably the best asshole, egotistical maniac. Because back then, I was selfish. I only thought about me. I have grown up. I have repented, prayed, and everything. Said, God, please forgive me. I've actually went to individuals asking for forgiveness because I was just that selfish. Um, and I've said this over and over. I was a piece of crap. So no, I didn't deserve to be all county, all state, all anything except all asshole. Um, um, and I had this one guy say, "Man, why you ain't in the Calhoun County Hall of Fame? Because you can get some people to nominate you, right?" Like, dude, listen, I did what I did, and listen, I'm proud of myself, for my adventures on the football field. Whether it was high school, I really didn't see the field much in college because I was a butthole. But I played one, actually a small period of time with the Georgia Southerners of the USFL. They won the USFL team. They were an affiliate. Somebody get hurt, wherever, and they get one of these guys. And now that I was out of shape. Listen. It had been what 3 4 years since I literally took a hit or tried to run the ball. Was it 3 4 years? Might be, yeah, 3 4 years, maybe even five. I say, you know what, nah. But ironically, doing that, somebody from the Falcons, gave me. It was the year of the Olympics, '96, I want to say, yeah. And I actually got to, see, some of the Falcons players, over there in Swanee. I think it's Swanee, Georgia, doing a practice section. So I always tell everybody I lie and say, hey, I had a opportunity audition, but it really wasn't. It was just a guy who was affiliated with that USFL team. Invited us over there to watch, the Falcons play. I mean, not play, practice. Um, I got to see one of the, in my opinion, one of the best Falcons running backs. I think his name was Anderson. He did the Dirty Bird. Uh, anyway, that listen, that's neither here nor there. My point to all that is Bill Belichick is a Hall of Famer. We all know this. He's top three, if not the greatest NFL coach of all time. Period, bar none. There's really no discussion about that. It's all facts. So, you know, if these people are going to allow politics and egos and all this to get in the way of his first ballot denial, then it is what it is. Bill Belichick needs to repent for the crap he's doing now, in my opinion. And listen, who an individual sleeps with or lay down with is none of my concern. But when you make it public, people are going to judge. I'm damn sure going to judge. I'm going to criticize. There's no reason you're with an individual who's your granddaughter's age, or probably younger than your granddaughter. Um, so yeah, he needs to really pay attention on things going on in his personal life now, not really the Hall of Fame. And I know he's still coaching North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, but um, there's other things he needs to think about, in my opinion. Uh, what else went on? I think, and around the world, I'm gonna say this: Europe, and listen, I know you got crazy folks all around the world, but the Europeans, like in France and the EU, Britain, these people are crazy. They are, and we have those crazies in this country too, but these people are crazy. Canada, they're willing to strike deals with China, and good luck on that. Instead of continuing their partnership with the United States. And I'm going to say this: listen, um, the one of the head people of the NATO said that all y'all buffoons out there, y'all can't survive without the United States, militarily, monetarily, nothing. And he was absolutely right. They cannot survive without the United States. So play your little games, and you're gonna be touching your toes a little bit later on. You're gonna take off your pink panties. You're gonna be touching your toes, and you're gonna be bowing down because you can't make it without the United States. You can't. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I know it's y'all's mission to defeat and bring down the United States, but it's not gonna happen. Hopefully, not in my lifetime, anyway. Um, Over in Iran, these wackos are still doing crazy shit. I think the last report I heard, they killed 600 civilian protesters. Not 600, 6,000 civilian protesters. And it got me to thinking, you hear these stories about the back in the day, Russia and China killing thousands and thousands of their own people. Look, killing another human being unjustified is never a good thing. Never. But in this country, we have the freedom to protest. And a lot of people would like to go out there and do some things to these people. I ain't gonna say kill them, but they'd like to probably beat the hell out of them. I know I would. I would like to beat the hell out of them. But I can't imagine, our government sending a military force to gun down thousands and thousands of people. I can't see that. Now, in recent history, we have had agitators going out there trying to kill our federal immigration officers, and they have been killed. being that the protesters or demonstrators, they have been killed justifiably. Um, but see, in this country, you can go out there and peacefully protest all you want, and no harm will come to you. Now, when you attack officers, uh, that's a different story. You're gonna get dealt with. You're gonna get got. So, yeah, these governments, Iran, and listen, I don't know how many people live in. It may be a billion people living in Iran. I don't know. Don't really care. But to kill your own citizens or citizenry, I can't talk. Citizens, is a travesty, and these people, the heads need to be dealt with. Now, I understand in Iran and Ukraine and Venezuela, you have officials who are not wanted. And I don't know if these people have governmental process to oust these people. I don't. I know in the United States we have a process to do it. But no other countries like the United States. Man, we're celebrating 250 years of nothing but power and dominance. And we who are patriots, we're loving it. 250 years, man. Now, for 50 of them years, I've been on it. I've been here, and I've served it. I've served my country, served my community, as I've stated in other shows, and I love my country. It's God, country, and God, family, and country, and football. God, country, family, and football. Because see, in order to love football, in order to love my family, I have to protect my country. And in order to love my country, I have to surrender to the Lord Jesus Christ, the Creator, the great Jehovah. You have to surrender. And that's why I say God, country, family, and football. So, yeah, 250 years, man. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And hopefully I can do a little bit of digging and come up with some things on the next show, 2 or 3 shows. Tell them about the history of the. 'Cause in school, people call me a dummy, and I was just lazy. But I love history. I love the not only the history of the country, Western civilization. I love the history of the world. Social studies. When it comes to geography, etc. At one point, I even could tell you the flag, of every country, even though you take that same encyclopedia now. I mean, not, yeah, encyclopedia, and probably half them flags don't exist or done changed. Have them proper rainbow flags. But yeah, I've always loved these things. I've always loved human behavior. So when you hear somebody say, Harvey he was old dumb jock. He was just a dummy. Yeah, I was stupid, but I wasn't a dummy. I wasn't dumb. I was lazy. And I kind of wish I would have applied a little bit more brain power back then. But, nevertheless, I strive to learn something new every single day of my life. And, you know, um, celebrating 250 years of this beautiful country, there's other things I want to learn. You know, um, different things about different states. There's this program that come on TV called Aerial America, and it tells you some history about all 50 states and the provinces and the territories of the United States. And I learned a little bit through that. I learned through a little bit through my encyclopedias, etc. So yeah, I'm gonna keep on learning. It's celebrating this 250 years, man. It's a beautiful thing. I won't be here for the 300th anniversary, but uh, so I'm gonna celebrate this 250 like it was 1999. But yeah, let me get ready to get up out of here, man. It's it's a crazy day in America. It's a crazy times in America. But listen, we have the greatest leadership, some of the greatest people. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get up out of here. I've said this in previous shows, and I've said it to tons of people. At least for the last year, 3 to 5 years, I've surrounded myself with only the people who matters to me. And what I mean by that, not only my family and friends, but outside of that scope, I don't deal with certain people. And I don't feel bad about that because what I've noticed is I don't have all the mess. I don't have that brain rot around me anymore. I don't have that disease of hate because certain people in this country, politically, that identify politically a certain way, that identify uh, racially a certain way, and I'm just going to say it, the liberal Democrats, as the great Vince Evan Ellison called them, the ICE Democrat, ignorant, crazy, and evil. And that's what they are, ignorant, crazy, and evil. I don't want to go to church with these people. I don't want to be around these people. I don't. And I think I said this on Facebook back in 2017, 2018. If you're one of these people, I don't care what we had shared in the past. Erase me, block me, unfriend me. I don't care because my brain is better off. My sanctity is better off. I feel good when I'm around patriots, when I'm around God fearing, beautiful people, black, white, green, or yellow. I'm in the midst of holiness when I'm around God fearing people. And that's all that matters to me. I do not want to be around ICE Democrats. Ignorant, crazy, and evil. I don't want to be around that. I don't want to associate with any of them. And I don't feel bad because I'm not, listen, this goes always back to the 60s. Why did these black folks, Martin Luther King and these ignorant folks, beg KKK members to sit on their toilet or to drink the same water from their water fountain or to sit on the bus with them or to sit at the counter with them? Why would you beg somebody who hates you to be around them? Are you serious? Dude, if you don't like me, we can mutually agree we ain't gotta be around each other. I don't wanna be around you, you don't wanna be around me. I'm not finna beg you for your acceptance. Who almost said a bad word? I'm trying to control my potty mouth. But I ain't finna beg for nothing. And that's why I said earlier, I surround myself with only God fearing people because a true servant of God ain't finna beg no man for nothing. And I damn sure ain't. Not now, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But listen, you guys stay blessed. I really appreciate you. I love you. And stay safe. Um, you know, the devil's, he's active. But I'll see you next time.